Dr. Jelly, you just have to unmute.
I apologize. Welcome, everyone, and good evening. Thank you, Kevin, and welcome to all who are participating in tonight's virtual hearing. I am Shelley Jallow, the monitor assigned by the Commissioner to the Rochester City School District. I have decades of experience in school district improvement and have served as a Senior Director of School Improvement and Learning on the Innovation program at West Ed. Prior to my time at West Ed, I supervised, coached, and mentored school and district leaders in school districts throughout New Jersey, representing low-performing elementary, middle, and high schools. I am very familiar with the academic and fiscal challenges faced by districts such as Rochester. This hearing is being conducted to meet the requirements of a new state law that directs the Commissioner of Education to appoint a monitor to the Rochester City School District. The Rochester City School District is not unique in this regard. Similar provisions of the law also requires the Commissioner to appoint monitors to the Hempstead and Wyandanch school districts. A somewhat different provision of the law establishes monitors for East Ramapo School District. As the monitor for Rochester, I am charged with providing oversight, guidance, and technical assistance related to the academic and fiscal policies, practices, programs, and decisions of the school district and its Board of Education and Superintendent. On May 26, 2020, I was appointed by Interim Commissioner Tahoe to be the monitor of the Rochester School District. The public hearing we are conducting today is required by the state law that established the position of the monitor. We are doing the hearings this month because by law, they must be conducted within 60 days of my appointment. The purpose of this second hearing is to explain the role of the monitor in providing oversight and assistance in academic matters for the Rochester schools, and to take public comment on the academic performance of the school district. The third hearing will be held on July 22nd and will take public comment on the fiscal performance of the school district. I'd like to move on to the next slide, where we talk a little bit about the performance. As you can see by the chart on display here, from 2014-15 school year to 2018-19 school year, the district has experienced a decline in student enrollment. Presently, from the 18-19 school year, the last data shows that there were 25,669 students. At the same time, for the 18-19 school year, going into the 19-20 school year, we had 13 TSI schools, 7 CSI schools, and 14 schools in receivership. Next slide, please. Rochester City School District in the area of ELA, students in grades 3 through 8. This chart identifies the level of proficiency demonstrated by the students in the school district during the years designated on the chart. As you can see in the 18-19 school year, which is the last year for which data such as this is available, 13% of the students in Rochester City School District in grades 3 through 8 were able to demonstrate academic proficiency on the ELA state exam. As you can see, 11% for African Americans, 11% for Hispanic Latino, and so forth and so on. White students, 29%. Students with disabilities, ELL, had 3% showing proficiency, and students that were economically disadvantaged, 11%, and those that were not economically disadvantaged, showing 32% proficiency on the ELA exam. In the area of mathematics for the same grades, 3 through 8, as you can see, once again, all students, there's an increase from the 17-18 school year to 18-19 school year. You see a 2% increase in the number of students able to demonstrate, proficiency on the mathematics assessment. Once again, you see the numbers for African American students, Latino students, white students, students with disabilities, ELL students, economically disadvantaged, and those who are not disadvantaged. Graduating cohort. For the students who graduated within 4 years during the 18-19, the conclusion of the 18-19 school year, You will notice that most of the students were able to graduate in 4 years, showing 63%. 64% of white students were able to graduate within 4 years in their cohort. Only 47% of the students with disabilities, ELL students, 43% of ELL students in the district were able to graduate on time, and 60% for disadvantaged, and those students who are not disadvantaged had a graduation rate recorded at 81%. Chronic absenteeism is another metric that is used to measure how well the school district is doing. As you can see in elementary grades, in the 18-19 school year, for all students, 37.6% is the rate of chronic absenteeism for all students during the 18-19 school year who were elementary school students. For secondary students, those in grades 7 through 12, 59.9% is the rate of chronic absenteeism recorded for those students in the district. And I won't read the entire slide, but as you see, chronic absenteeism is an area that is of great concern for not just the elementary, but it is a rate that only worsens when we get to the secondary grade level. Responsibilities of the monitor: to serve as a non-voting ex officio member of the board, assist the board in adopting a conflict of interest policy that ensures board members and administrators act in the district's best interests. We had the first reading of that policy last night at our committee of the whole meeting. Work with the board to develop a proposed academic improvement plan and proposed financial plan for the district no later than November 1st, 2020, for the 2020-2021 school year and for the 4 subsequent school years. Beginning with the 21-22 school year budget, ensure that the budget is balanced and consistent with the district's long-term financial plan. Other responsibilities, serving as a non-voting ex officio member of the board, the monitor will, by virtue of her position, I'll say my position, serve as a member of the school board with the right to attend all meetings, both public and executive sessions, and to participate in discussions on all matters coming before it. The monitor is not entitled to vote on matters coming before the Board of Education, nor is my presence considered in determining a quorum of the Board of Ed. Assist the board in adopting a conflict of interest policy that ensures board members and administrators act in the district's best interest. Ensuring that no employee or board member has a conflict between their official duties for the school district and their outside interests is critical to maintaining the fiscal and operational integrity of the Rochester schools. The development of a comprehensive ethics conflict of interest policy in accordance with Article 18 of New York State General Municipal Law will assist greatly in attaining compliance. Work with the board to develop proposed academic improvement and financial plans for the district no later than November 1st, 2020 for the 2020-2021 school year and the 4 subsequent school years. It is crucial to the academic and fiscal stabilization of the school district that long-term academic improvement and financial plans be developed to guide the Rochester schools into the future. We will discuss the process of developing the proposed financial plan at the next public hearing scheduled for July 22nd. The academic improvement plan will contain a series of programmatic recommendations designed to improve academic performance of the district in academic areas that the commissioner deems in need of improvement. The plan will also include addressing the provisions contained in any action plan set forth by the department. Remember, a plan is just that, a plan. It consists of best estimates, fact sets, and decision-making at a given point in time. Plans are subject to alteration as conditions change and must be updated to correspond with present conditions. The draft academic improvement plan will be subject to public review and comment prior to being finalized. Should there be a disagreement between the monitor and the board on aspects of the plan, such matters will be brought to the attention of the commissioner for resolution. In July 2018, Commissioner Mary Ellen Elliott appointed Jaime Aquino to be the distinguished educator to the district. He issued a report in November 2018 with 84 recommendations that the district has been working to implement. It is anticipated that the academic plan developed by the monitor and the board will rely heavily upon the work of Dr. Attn. The academic plan is likely to create findings and recommendations regarding many of the topics below: district governance and leadership, teaching and learning, special education, English language learners, organizational structure, accountability, human capital, family and community engagement, school climate and social emotional learning, school and district operations. Beginning with the 21-22 school year budget, ensure that the budget is balanced and consistent with the district's long-term financial plan. Beginning with the 21-22 school year, the monitor will be responsible for conducting a comprehensive analysis of the district's proposed budget. A comprehensive review of all budgets going forward will be conducted by the monitor in conjunction with the administration and the Board of Ed, as well as outside parties such as NYS/OSC, to ensure that assumptions and projections are reasonable and the budget appears balanced. Provide semi-annual reports on the academic, fiscal, and operational status of the district. Assist in resolving any disputes and conflicts between the superintendent and the board and among board members on the board. Authority to disapprove travel outside the state paid for by the district. Recommend cost-saving measures, including but not limited to shared service agreements, and notify the board in writing regarding violations of the academic and/or financial plan. Provide semi-annual reports on academic, fiscal, and operational status of the district. The legislation requires that a report be provided twice a year to the governor, New York State Legislature, Board of Regents, and the Commissioner of Education on the academic, fiscal, and operational status of the Rochester schools. The report shall include copies of all contracts entered into by the school district. The monitor will have access to documents and records of the school district, including databases. Assist in resolving any disputes and conflicts between the superintendent and the board and amongst board members of the board. Usually when disagreements arise between the superintendent and the board members or among board members themselves, they can be resolved internally. For such cases when these disagreements cannot be resolved, the monitor will make every attempt to bring the parties together amicably. Authority to disapprove travel outside the state for paid for by the district. In the past, there have been questions raised regarding the travel of employees, administrators, and board members to out-of-state conferences. Due to the fact that the school district is operating under a very tight budget, these expenses must be controlled. The monitor is empowered with final decision-making on the necessity and benefit of travel outside of the state for meetings and conferences. In recent years, the state of New York has made it increasingly easier for school districts to seek out economically efficient ways to procure goods and services, with the goal being to save money through bulk purchasing in conjunction with other governmental entities. The avenues to do so include buying cooperatives, New York State, county, and BOCES purchasing contracts, federal contracts, as well as business receiving minority and women-owned business enterprise certification from the state of New York. Notify the board in writing regarding violations of the academic and/or financial plans. In such cases, the monitor would notify the Board of Ed of the violation and request corrective action. If a correction is not made, the monitor would advise SED, State Education Department, for possible action.
Thank you, Dr. Jallow, for that overview of the academic standing of the district and the state laws and regulations around your role as the monitor. Next, we are going to allow the persons who have signed up to speak some time to do so. A few technical details here. I'm going to call your name very shortly. You will then be unmuted, and please turn on your video, or your video will be turned on for you. You'll have 3 minutes for comment. I will provide you with a 30-second warning. I would ask that when you hear the buzzer at the conclusion of your 3 minutes, if you please finish your sentence. At that point, we will you will be muted, and we'll thank you for your comments. And we do appreciate those who took the time to be with us here tonight, and also the couple of folks that sent some comments in. After our speaker wraps up her comments, I will read the comments that were emailed in by each of our two folks who chose to do so. So without further ado, I think I see Jackie on my screen. Jackie Campbell, a community member whose subject is Rock the Future and RCSD. The floor is yours.
Evening, and thank you. I'm a long talker, so I'm going to get right to it. Good evening, Dr. Jallow, commissioners, as well as Dr. Leslie Myers-Small. My name is Jackie Campbell. I'm the director of Rock the Future. We are Rochester's collective impact initiative focused on education from cradle to career. We convene a leadership body of more than 30 organizations, many with differing perspectives and interests, but all focused on improving outcomes for children together. Our convener member organizations include government, higher education, health systems, philanthropy, community-based organizations, nonprofits, and elected officials. And we count the Rochester City School District, as well as the Board of Education, as valued and necessary partners at our table. We also lead several work groups with dozens of individuals, including organization representatives, initiative leaders, parents, and just engaged community folk, which in total gives us about 150 caring, committed individuals looking to support our students so they succeed and to uplift the Rochester community together. My purpose for speaking with you this evening is to simply share some information about our unique value, and again, to share with the Board of Commissioners our intention to support the district in achieving its mission to educate Rochester's children. Launched in 2011 through a partnership with Monroe Community College and the Rochester City School District as a collective impact initiative, we bring a convened body of strategically aligned stakeholders committed to improving student outcomes that I mentioned. I should note that this collective thinking of community leadership on education and that is committed to supporting the strategic goals of the district does not exist anywhere else in Rochester. We bring data research and analysis to support decision-making, continuous improvement and reporting, communications resources for a coordinated approach to improve the narrative of public education in Rochester as a whole, continuous improvement resources, training, processes, and practices to improve targeted outcomes by working directly with targeted organizations, schools, principals, educators, and the community in general. A commitment of financial resources to support systems level and evidence-based proven practices that impact improvement in targeted outcomes. And partnership opportunities as a co-deliverer at our annual State of the Children event, our annual report card release, media engagement, and a number of other opportunities. Although we've been in partnership with the district for quite a while,
30 seconds.
It has been difficult to maintain relationships and the necessary to strategic alliances. But we look forward to working with you, developing a trusted relationship with you, with Dr. Leslie and her cabinet, and with the board to improve outcomes for children together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate you taking the time to be here this evening. Now what I'm going to do, we didn't have any other speakers that registered for this evening, but we did receive 2 email comments. And what I will do is give them the same benefit. I will read the comment if I can get it completed within the 3 minutes. If not, I'll read for about those 3 minutes each of their comments. The first comment is from Nicole Haynes. She's a parent. And here are her thoughts. RCSD must partner with community organizers and community agencies. The goal will be to rebuild the trust with the thousands of students RCSD has not served well that are now parents and residents. Stephen Covey articulates well the measurable cost of low trust. According to Covey, when trust is low in an organization or in a relationship, it places a hidden tax on every transaction, every communication, every interaction, every strategy, every decision is taxed, bringing speed down and sending costs up. Significant distrust doubles the cost of doing business and triples the time it takes to get things done. RCSD must develop a robust marketing plan to encourage the parents of RCSD to be the students in the RCSD adult learning programs. Parents know the importance of education and some need support in developing their own academic skills. RCSD must develop a robust marketing plan to recruit parents of RCSD students to be employees in the district. Current parents and students share as stakeholders in the learning environments across the district. Yet families have to prioritize basic needs. RCSD is willing to discuss the poverty-facing families of the city of Rochester when they provide nutritious meals, gifts for Christmas, Wi-Fi, and computer technology. However, there are ways RCSD can partner with families to address poverty in manners that deal with root cause. Poverty in and of itself is not a deterrent to education. However, the conditions and circumstances that arise from poverty are formidable adversaries to the conditions needed to focus on learning. RCSD must engage in a critical examination of the perceptions of district staff have about students and families they serve. When staff have high expectations, students are more likely to demonstrate high academic achievement. In contrast, when staff have low expectations, students do not perform up to their potential. Research has identified observable staff behaviors that might demonstrate either high or low expectations. RCSD must develop consistent structures of information sharing. For example, how will the district know what a parent's experience is with literacy programs recently adopted? How will the district know of each student's experience with the new literacy program? And how will the district know the new literacy program, how it is impacting the interactions between students and teachers? One of the biggest challenges for academics is how disconnected central office and school leadership can be from what is happening in each and every classroom. The interaction between teachers and students in the district's main unit of production. Everything embarked upon in the realm of academics has to be examined based on its impact on the interaction between teachers and students. It would be in the best interest of RCSD to keep a close eye on its relationship for the purpose of nurturing it. That was not the entire statement of Nicole Haynes, and I do want folks to know that even though within 3 minutes I may not get the opportunity to complete it, all submitted comments will be in the public record in their entirety. So if you'd like to read more, that opportunity will be there for you. Okay, our second comment that was emailed in tonight is from Mary Adams, a parent. I am writing you tonight to affirm the importance of democratically elected local control of the Rochester City School District. Number one, despite intermittent sporadic attempts by business elites, none or very few of whom have children in RCSD, to take control of the district and its public resources, every one of those efforts has been soundly repudiated by the public or found to be illegal. Many of us were involved in the successful community coalition to beat back Bob Duffy's effort to seize mayoral control of RCSD in 2010, claiming it was the hill he would die on. It's no coincidence that Bob Duffy is now the CEO of the Rochester Business Alliance, which continues to unsuccessfully call for the removal of democratic governance of schools. We must remain vigilant to any attempt by business interests to use shock doctrine tactics in the COVID-19 context. While we absolutely should reimagine education as we reconnect and rebuild, it must be community-driven, solely focused on high-quality education. There is no room for plans for framing from the Gates Foundation or the Rochester Business Alliance or any other vulture philanthropist. The voices of parents, students, and educational leaders we have chosen must be supported like never before to build successful and engaging communities here in Rochester. Number two, ongoing structural financial instability in our district is primarily a result of the failure of the New York State to fund foundation aid for the Rochester City School District according to statute or according to the recommendation of the New York State Board of Regents every year of Governor Cuomo's administration. Severe foundation aid underfunding combined with the contingent, complicated, and unstable nature of grant funding and deficit-driven perverse incentives for resources such as receivership have resulted in extreme pressure on the RCSD to engage in a series of supercharged games of robbing Peter to pay Paul that inevitably led to a crisis that could no longer be hidden. The primary solution should have been and must be statutorily defined, and the Board of Regents recommended levels of state foundation aid. These demands should not be led by children, as has been the case for far too long, and that statement was emphasized. All elected and appointed leaders in the city as well as within RCSD should be leading in this most essential process of securing what we are owed. The most recent calculation of owed foundation aid for Rochester is $86 million. When state legislators and the governor tell us there is not enough money to provide a fundamentally sound education and refuse to implement revenue generating measures such as Senate Bill 7378, Assembly Bill 10363, they are leaving us in a situation that harms children. Full stop, period. Okay. There were a number of other comments there, and again, as I said, these will be entered into the formal public record. A record, as we wind up this evening's hearing, a record of this public hearing will be made available on the district's website. And also, where there's an opportunity, if there were actually questions asked, there will be an opportunity for Dr. Jallo and others to answer them as part of the public record. We would like to sincerely thank everyone who participated in today's virtual hearing. We appreciate your commitment to improving education in the Rochester City School District. Again, this hearing will be made available. You can see the district's web address there on your screen. And with that, we are going to conclude this evening's public hearing. We wish you all well, stay safe, and good night.